Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with my buddy
Roman.
and we're doing another edition of TFL Talk.
Top 10 cars to get drunken.
Close. Top 10 cars for college students. If you wanted to buy your recent high school graduate car for college, we have a couple suggestions.
And they have to be new cars because obviously the car I would buy my recent grad is an old used car because that's the way the world works. But since we do new car reviews, we're going to do new cars.
We're going to do new cars, and I do have a funny story about that, but I'll say it some other time. It had to do with an AMC Matador and my father being very cruel.
Did you have an AMC Matador? Yeah?
It was, yeah, we'll talk about that at the end, because we're going to start off with number 10. And number 10 is a car Roman doesn't like, but I do. But he will agree with me that it is comfortable and very economical for what it is. And that is the Dodge Dart.
Oh yes, the Dodge Dart. I found that car very disappointing. I was expecting an Alfa Romeo Giulietta, and I got a Dart.
Yes, you did, because they made that car for America, so it's larger than the
It's
Giulietta.
uglier.
It's not ugly. And it is very comfortable in the
And
back.
slower.
And it has lots of storage, including you can get an optional thing where the seat opens on the passenger side. You can put stuff in underneath in case you have to hide your hacky sack and other things that you guys use in college. And it has a very big trunk. It is easy to drive. You have to admit it's easy to park, easy to live with, gets really good mileage.
If you love jelly beans, it's a car for you.
So the point is that number 10 is Dodge Dart. I highly recommend it, and he can shut up. So next one.
Wait, no, okay.
Honda Fit, number 9.
I like the Dart. It's a fine vehicle. It just doesn't stir my soul.
It stirs mine. So you know what? The GT so far has been like one of the best surprise cars of its class, but the GT is a lot more expensive. You can get a base model Dart for way under 20. Now, let's go on to what we both agree is one of the best cars in its class, and that's without even driving the brand new one, and that is the Honda Fit.
Yeah, that's a great little car. It's sporty, it's fast, it's fun.
It's not fast.
It's
not
fast.
even a little.
Yeah, no, it's fast. Wait. It's fast when you're in the thing. It's one of these cars. It's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. And that car feels fast no matter. And I should know because my mom has one.
Yeah, you did buy his mom. Well,
Yeah.
see, he can trump me on that.
And it's got a lot of kind of cool features where like you can raise the back seat so you can put a bike in it.
I had a very large dog, and so I used to have this trash can filled with dog food, and I was able, it's a full-size trash can, I was able to lift the back seat and actually get the trash can into the back seat area. That's because the gas tank is actually under the driver's seat.
Remember college kids. So we're
Yes.
probably looking at like
A body.
beer or...
Cadavers.
No, not cadavers.
Well, it depends on where they go to school
A
now.
keg, dude, a keg.
A keg?
Yeah, you can
What
get a
is
keg
this
in-
keg you mentioned?
So for all you parents listening out there, you can't get a keg in the back of a Fit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. We both agree on this car that it's a pretty decent car, and that's number 8, which is the Toyota Corolla.
Yes, the Toyota Corolla is redesigned, and it actually looks, I'm going to say, I'm not going to go to sexy, but I'm going to go to stylish.
It looks better than it used to.
Yeah.
And it's a solid car built on a solid platform with a solid foundation. For those of you out there who say, oh, wait, it's not as safe because it's based on a really old platform and it did poorly on whatever, you know what, it didn't, because on NCAP and IIHS it's done very well. And the platform has been updated. That means that they've changed some of the stampings around, and it is a much safer car. So, with that out of the way, I will say that it's a very good car for you not to get too many dates in.
And as a parent, it's the kind of car that if you buy your only child in my case, you will have a car that they will have until they're ready to get their own car, right? You know it's going to be reliable, and you know it's going to be something that won't fall apart.
100,000 miles on a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park for a car like that. A lot of these cars are like that, but in terms of the Toyota, you also maintain a little bit of the value.
I give them the Fabia.
You give them a Fabia. Yeah, here in Colorado. Once again,
That's
we are
an
in
inside
Colorado. Okay, number 7. This is a car I have a love-hate relationship with. It's the Ford Fiesta.
Why do you have a love-hate relationship?
Because we haven't had a chance to drive the 3-cylinder yet, and we haven't had a chance to drive the ST. Otherwise, I love it.
Yeah, it's a great little car. Once again, it's a European car that they brought over as is, and whenever they do that, they bring over all the European virtues. And let's face it, Europeans are much better at building small cars because they have that kind of road system, the kind of cities.
Small brains.
No, they don't have small brains. They have just a lot of great little cars for great, big, crowded cities. And they know how to build them, and that's one of them.
Around a track, and I have taken one of these on a track, just the regular one, and it did fantastic because it has a very good set of suspension systems that go with it, despite which car you're going to get. And on top of that, it's a very comfortable car for the front seat driver and passenger. With that said, the back seat is a little crowded, and the parcel shelf in the back that they call a trunk or a hatch, not very big. Compared to the Honda Fit, it's tiny inside.
Pony keg.
Maybe. Okay, moving on. Number 6 is the Kia Soul.
Yeah, the Kia Soul. I mean, they went to a lot of time, effort to design a car for college kids, and that's the car.
That's exactly.
If you like hamsters and svelte hamsters.
Yeah, I hate that whole hamster thing. It's I used to like the hamsters when they were like kind of hip and rap, and now they're skinny and anemic.
Look, I'm sure college kids are going to hate this because you don't want to be categorized as any category, right? But they did study kind of what the young, youthful driver wants, and that is a car they came up with. And yes, maybe they didn't get it 100% right, but they're doing really well. They sell a lot of those cars, and not just to young, youthful people. I mean,
old people actually like them. Once again,
everybody. Yeah,
because it's perfect height to put your butt in, where you don't have to use, worry about the osteoporosis before getting into the car.
It's a good car.
It is a good car. I actually had a chance to go out
to Minnesota, of all places.
Which was rocking. The fortunate thing about that car is that with that boxy shape, you're able to, with folding all the seats down, one driver, get most of your dorm room into that car. It actually has a lot of room for that. And yes, you can get your hacky sack and your giant pong in there or whatever else you have.
Did you say dog?
Yes, I did.
Giant dog.
Number 5. Number 5 is my personal choice, and some people like it, some people don't. And that's the Chevy Sonic. I think it's a very good value, and it can be a really fun car to drive.
Yeah, that's a car that most people don't think of because you don't think of kind of Chevys building these small little economy cars, and that car is good. I mean, it's based on a Korean car, and once again, a country that's good at building smaller cars.
Well, actually, it's interesting because the Chevy Sonic, out of all these vehicles, is one of the few that's actually built here in the United States.
Right, but nevertheless based on a Korean car.
Also some European stuff going on with that as well. So we'll move on to number 4, the Hyundai Veloster.
We're like an old couple, we just bicker, don't we, Nathan?
No, we don't, because no old people will talk to me. The Hyundai Veloster is, now there's a turbo version. I'm not advertising the turbo version. I'm talking about the regular model.
I'm going to say turbo because it's slow. So if you're worried
So imagine the normally aspirated one, how slow that one is. And
if
that's
you're worried
exactly
about your kid getting killed, they won't do so in the turbo.
Yeah. First of all, you can only put 4 people in the car, and back seats are kind of sort of uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you only have one door on one side.
Yeah, you have one side it's a 2-door, and then the other side it's a 1-door. So it's kind of weird and funky, but I think it's really good looking. It actually handles really well around the corners, and it's so bloody slow, you're not going to have to worry about wrapping it around too many poles. It's frugal, economical, and it's a lot more stylish than the Hyundai Accent, which is, well, frankly, what the alternative would be for that car.
Yeah, it's kind of a hipster car. It's one of those cars where they actually built the concept or prototype, and that's hard to do, and it's hard to live with, but it's cool once you have it.
Oh, and one more thing, the trunk is massive. When you open it, it doesn't look at first, but you go and you reach all the way down, and you can actually fit a very large human body in there.
Yeah, and I like the fact that the turbo actually has these big round... This is
yeah, it makes it look like it's going to be a rocket.
Yeah, I know. This car has bigger exhaust tailpipe than an Audi R8 or a GTR, so you think the thing, by looking at the back, you think the thing's got like 8,000 horsepower, but it doesn't.
It doesn't, but the turbo's fun, even though Hyundai hasn't given us one up here. Okay, so we're going to number 3, and that's kind of a 2-choice, 1-choice thing, and that's because it's the Subaru Impreza, but both of us would say, hey, pony up a little bit more to get the XV Crosstrek.
Yeah, the XV Crosstrek is cool. The Impreza, not so much.
Cool.
Yeah, they put some cladding on it, they raised it up, and they made it a lifestyle.
And that's why it's so good if your kid is going to a snowbelt school. because in the snow, the XV Crosstrek is just fantastic. It's a phenomenal car. Subaru can't keep them on the lots. They were expecting to sell a couple thousand, and the numbers have been through the roof. It's one of the most successful cars ever.
And I think it's one of those cars that appeals to both girls and guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a car that is specifically like the Volkswagen Beetle, for instance, that has always had the reputation of being a feminine car.
Yeah.
Whereas this one kind of goes both ways.
It does. It likes both sides. It won't let me rev over 4,000 RPM. Big surprise.
Nathan, it sounds like a turtle.
Actually, this sounds really good when you're accelerating really hard.
You can't even see the exhaust pipe. You know what that means? When you can't see the exhaust pipe, it means the manufacturer is sending the not so subtle message that it's slow. Okay, fuel efficient.
Fuel efficient, thank you.
Slow.
And on top of that, we took it off-road. We beat the crap out of it, and it did really, really well. It actually drove better off-road than the Audi Allroad we took just prior to that. Yeah, it did much better.
Yeah.
So we highly recommend it. It gets pretty good mileage, and if you're silly enough to get the CVT, which he prefers, then it'll even get better mileage. You get the manual,
such a rubbery,
so you're going to get over that.
No,
One of these
no
old
feel.
men, just grouchy
terrible.
old men is what. Okay, so number 2. The Mazda 3 with the 2-liter engine, not the bigger engine. Great car. Really good little car.
Yeah, you know, for a long time the Mazda had this kind of joker face, which I could live without. It also was very fuel efficient and underpowered. And let's face it, with the Skyactiv technology, they promised us both fuel efficiency and power, and they delivered without a turbo and without any form of forced induction. It's just a good-looking car. The Rabbit revs to 6,500 RPM, the way it should be. Of course, you can't see the exhaust pipe either. Once again, these cars are built to be fuel efficient, and this one is built to be fuel efficient and speedy, not fast, speedy.
Hey, you know what?
What? What?
Honestly, I can tell you one thing. I hate you. I swear. It's a good-looking car.
Handles well.
It handles well. Good-sized trunk. Its back seats are a little tight. You actually get better-sized back seat in like a Corolla. But in terms of an overall package, in terms of something you won't be embarrassed to drive once you're in grad school or when your kids are going to become doctors or lawyers or whatever, it's a really good car to start out life with.
Yeah, and you can grow into it.
You can grow into it. And yeah, okay, it's a little bit on the tight side.
If you put on more than freshman 10. Yeah.
That Skyactiv engine is extremely economical. The 2-liter engine has just enough power to give you a little bit of sport, and it handles beautifully.
All right, and the number 1 car, the Raptor.
Yes, no, the Volkswagen Golf. Yeah, now hold on. There's some of you are going, oh, it's nowhere near as reliable as the other cars, and you'd be right, but it's such a good car to drive.
Yeah, you know, a typical college car is a Jetta, and that's why we didn't pick it, because every girl, I think...
And a couple guys
end up with a Jetta and going into college. And the Golf is actually, I think, a much better car because it's got more of that German Volkswagen DNA.
It's a hatchback, too.
Yeah, it drives better, it's more practical, it looks better in my mind. You know, let's face it, this might be a car that would also kind of...
Well, they would like that, but they're really expensive. Minis are, well, frankly, they're overpriced, and that's a bummer. The good news is with the Volkswagen, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than the other cars, but you're also getting a really nice interior. It's comfortable.
Yes.
It's very, very roomy. Can hold a lot of gear, and you also get, well, frankly, you get that German quintessential feel with it. So when you're driving it around, even if you're out of college, you don't feel like you're driving a college car.
The problem with this list, Nathan, quite honestly, is that they're nice, good cars, but they're boring, man. Boring.
Which is why I'm adding a car to it.
You are?
Yes, Dodge Challenger.
That's not a Dodge Challenger. You know, this thing is what, 45,000? Get out of here.
Talking about the one with the V6.
All
There
right,
is a
all right,
V6
all right.
that has over 300
Starting to make
horsepower.
more sense, yeah.
Yes, and with the 8-speed automatic transmission, you can get a little bit, well...
Get laid?
Yes, and on top of that, you can get a really good gas mileage out of a rather big and heavy car, and it has a back seat that can actually hold 3 people, and
Oh, get laid.
yes, and the back seats fold down, and there's actually a very good sized trunk there. If you get a Mustang or Camaro, the trunks are tiny. This one actually can hold a lot of stuff. So when your girlfriend throws you out of the apartment for saying laid too often online, then you have enough room in that car to stack everything inside of it and go to the next thing. Frankly speaking, it's not the car for everyone because it's still more expensive than most of these hatchbacks and small cars, but if I had a son, which I do, and if he was going to college, which he will, then if I had the money, which I won't, I would consider getting him a Challenger V6.
All right. Now this is definitely a boy's car. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot. What's one for the young college ladies out there? Not a concept car.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Right here.
A Jaguar X-Type?
Jaguar,
A
baby.
Jaguar.
Didn't you drive one of those? Yes, you did. Girl's car. I would recommend in
A
terms
used
of
X-Type. Is that what you're recommending?
Fiat 500L. That's what I would say.
Oh, that's boring.
No,
that's a mom car.
no.
I got the baby and the dog.
It's got a 1.4 liter turbocharged engine,
Fi-
standard.
Fiat 500 convertible.
All right.
All right, that's the one you get.
Yeah, you being such a chauvinist about this whole thing.
All right, give me the rest of your story now. What was this Matador thing? Like AMC Pacer.
I
whatever
got
the
in
heck you
trouble
had.
for various reasons, street racing, and when I was in high school. So my father tried to make me go to a prom. This was a junior prom, I think. I think it was a '74 AMC Matador.
Yeah.
This was in the '80s, late '80s, and the butt literally would drag on the ground in certain places. It had no room. It smelled bad. It was just a horrible car.
That's a
And
buzzkill, man.
What we called
Or
it was
motor
the
kill.
birth control car. And indeed,
No luck.
Well, no luck at all. She wouldn't even get in the car. I don't think the door opened. Yeah, you know what? The door didn't open. I couldn't open it from the. Yeah, so it was. She would have to crawl over the front seat, hence crawl over me. That didn't work. Bad car.
All right, we've had enough of the story, Nathan. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a college car for yourself or for your family, you've got our top 10.
Yes.
As always, this is Roman
And Nathan.
saying thanks for watching. Remember, go to tflcar.com for all kinds of car reviews and car hijinks, and go to tfltruck.com for all kinds of trucks all the time.
That's right, baby.
Ciao.